Good evening. As district clerk, I'd like to call the meeting to order for the school board on March 19th, 2025. Could we stand for the pledge? Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Congratulations to our re-elected members, Rick Edelman. And first order of business is to ask if there is a nomination or a motion for a nomination for a chairperson.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Micah Patillo for chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll start. I think Micah has taken the lead on multiple opportunities in the district. He provides an open lens perspective on issues. He's got an uncanny ability to see opinions from both sides, and he looks for common ground.
Anybody else on? Okay. Okay, could we have a vote? All in favor of Micah Patillo for chair? Okay, and that's 3. Micah's vote. And Micah, how did you vote on that?
Can he hear us?
Okay, yeah, I heard that. I am I'm not sure how to vote right now on that. I appreciate I'm going to be a no vote on that.
No vote? Okay.
And it's still me. We're looking for another nomination. We do.
I can ask for another nomination.
Need another nomination.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Dawn Dutton for chair.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, is there, could we have a vote? All in favor of Dawn Dutton as chair? 3, 4. Okay, congratulations, Dawn.
I think Micah voted for. All right.
He did. Oh.
Huh? No, I'm drinking my water.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Great. After that, okay. Do I have a nomination for vice chair?
I nominate Rick Edelman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All, discussion? No? All right, all in favor? Sorry, I can't see.
5 is
5.
yes. Yeah.
So, okay, so Micah, all right, so. Sorry, hands up. Sorry, Micah.
Heather.
Okay, so I guess it's 6. Thank you. Maura? Not in favor? No. Okay. 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 So let's raise to Rick.
Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Sure.
Does that mean we don't get to see?
No, you can
Okay.
sit next to me.
School district clerk. Do I have a nomination?
I make a motion to nominate Phyllis Kennedy.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. School district treasurer. Yes.
I make a motion to nominate Phyllis Kennedy.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
That's Ron. That's,
No? Oh, that's Ron.
right, that's Ron Brickett. I am.
Oh,
Sorry, you're
deputy.
deputy. Okay, so can you make a,
I make a motion to nominate Ron Brickett for the school district treasurer.
do I have another second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? This is so hard to see, Micah. Micah, were you in favor? Yes, okay, thank you. All right, all in favor. School district deputy treasurer.
I make a motion to nominate Phyllis Kennedy for the school district deputy treasurer.
I'll second.
Okay, all right, all in favor? All right, unanimous, thank you. Do I have any action on the minutes, for February 5th, 2025?
Oh, thanks.
Do I have a motion to move the minutes for February 5th, 2025?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Thank you. All right, any discussion? All in favor? Okay, unanimous.
Oh, I abstained
Oh, sorry.
because
did I.
That's right.
I was not there.
Okay.
I was not there either.
This is really hard.
Harder to see
Having
up.
the screen way down there is really tough. Okay. So we have, so Micah, Maura, Rick, myself, and Ken were all in favor. Okay. And then we had 2 abstentions of Jeremiah and Heather, because they were not here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. I will sign manifest documents and send them around. Tom, do you have nominations?
I do. Yes, I have one nomination. Abby Vaccaro, long-term substitute library media specialist at Bakey. I get a motion on that.
I make a motion to accept.
Second?
All right. All in favor? Hold on, sorry. Okay, so I have, so Jeremiah, you're an abstention?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have Micah, Maura, Rick, Heather, myself, and Ken all in favor. And then we have Jeremiah as an abstention. Okay, resignations.
Taryn Ward, library media specialist, and Nicole Wood, school nurse. The board doesn't have to
I was
act
gonna say,
on
we
these,
don't
but it's
have
just a
to.
notification.
It's a notification.
Thank you.
Tom, your report.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you everyone for being here this evening. Just wanted to let everyone know an update. But first I wanted to say thank you to Christine DeRocher, Jen Mitchison, and Dr. Dawson. We just received notification that our district has successfully completed our NEASC accreditation process. It's a nearly 3-year process that takes a significant amount of time and energy, and it required participation from many staff members at all the schools. I don't want to steal Christine's thunder because she's going to do a presentation about it later, but I did want to let the community know that we did receive that notification that we had completed that very, very time-consuming and long process. So thank you to everyone involved. As superintendent of the Sanborn Regional School District, I know that the last few months have been difficult and often frustrating, as the outside investigator conducted an investigation into the situation into the InStep program at the Bakey School. Thank you for your patience, and I'm now grateful to be able to share another update. On Thursday, March 6th, the district received the final report, and I want to lay out the next steps that will be taken. We've already begun the process of meeting with staff, and soon we'll be meeting with families of the students who are involved in the investigation. Once these 2 steps are complete, we'll be sharing the full report with the public as soon as the redactions are complete, as required by law and policy. Here's some important background, however, that I can immediately share about how the report was done. The investigator met with 23 current and former employees and contract providers and spent hours reviewing over 400 pages of records while preparing a comprehensive report. I know that the community shares my desire in having the investigation done properly, with the utmost integrity, and sometimes that means delaying the resolution of an unfortunate and stressful situation. I also know that these delays can be hard to navigate or feel like a lack of transparency, but I ask that you all please trust this process that's been put into place. An important part of the investigation remains ensuring the integrity of the process so that the findings are objective and unbiased. Given this is a personnel investigation and the investigation is ongoing, we maintain confidentiality, safeguard this integrity. Because we are investigating alleged mistreatment of students, there is no amount of public pressure that will cause us to deviate from our commitment to complete a thorough and fair investigation. We are optimistic that the investigation will be completed soon and the process of addressing the findings will be resolved soon thereafter. My intention is to be as transparent as possible about what happened, as well as how we are addressing the behaviors and preventing this from occurring again. Kelly Killen has served as the acting principal at Bakey School for nearly 2 weeks. During this time, I've had the opportunity to visit the school several times to meet with staff. I've attended a leadership team meeting and observed the school environment firsthand. From what I've seen, the students are engaged and happy, and the school appears to be operating seamlessly. Joanne Hamer has done an exceptional job taking over the InStep program. We moved the room to the front of the school where it's bright and sunny, and her calm, compassionate approach has resonated very well with the students. For your convenience and review, I have included some important points that I first sent on my January 24th community and staff letter. These are important points to remember. Number one, the school board is responsible for setting the policies of the district and hiring the superintendent as the chief executive to manage district operations. The superintendent is responsible for directing and supervising all employees in the district and has all powers necessary to make such direction effective. However, while the superintendent has the ultimate responsibility, they delegate supervisory powers and duties to other administrators within the district. Number two, while the school board is generally aware of what's happening relative to district employees and may receive reports of a general nature regarding an investigation of this nature, the superintendent is responsible for overseeing the investigation process. The district is obligated to provide its employees with due process in the context of their employment. Under several laws and procedures, the school board is required to serve as an appeals tribunal in the context of employment actions. Placing an employee on leave during an ongoing internal investigation is typical and not punitive in nature. Paid leave protects the investigation and the employee until the matter is resolved. As always, if you have any questions or information, I would encourage you to please contact me. That concludes my superintendent's report. Thank you very much.
Do I have any subcommittee reports? No. No? Oh my God. All right, so Maya, number one Thompson.
First I want to shout out the cheerleaders who on Sunday, March 9th, took the mat at Pinkerton for the Division II state prelims. They scored in the top 5 and moved on to finals on Thursday, March 13th, where they scored above a 70 and are now headed to Worcester State University for New England's this Saturday. This is a huge achievement for them. It's like maybe the first time ever, allegedly, we think. And then the boys basketball team went to the Division II state championship this past Saturday, where they battled hard and brought the Sanborn community together. They did not win, but it was still a great experience for all of the boys and just to see all the community together and like supporting one thing. And then at the end of this week, the SRHS drama troupe is performing Mean Girls. The first performance is Thursday at 7 p.m. and then they do one Friday at 7 and then Saturday at 1 and 7. So good luck to them. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Maya.
Yeah.
And shout out to Maya for being like the number one cheerleader because she was at everything. She was at the cheer competitions. She's got her shirts on, like she's ready to go. She's sitting there. She's like at the front of the mat with the coaches, like cheering them on. She's at the basketball games down right with the players. Like, so shout out to you for being so committed to everybody and everything. And thank you for that.
Thanks.
Okay. Do we- first. What? If you wanted to do the comfort zone. Okay, there's the rules here. But I think people are gonna want to talk about the dog. Okay. Okay, so, we have come to first public comment, but before we get to that, I want to ask the board if they would mind if after public comment is over, if we move the comfort dog, which is way down, up to the first thing after public comment so that the kids that are here can get home at maybe a reasonable time. If that's okay with everybody, that would be the
Yep.
plan. Okay.
In agreement.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so before we move to public comment. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate it.
Dawn,
Hmm?
I have just a quick question. It's me over here. Hi.
Oh, hey, Micah, sorry. This is,
I know it's messing with you. I just have a quick question. Was I ever supposed to affirm that where I am and that I'm alone?
oh, yes, thank you very much for that, Micah.
I'm in a hotel room in Las Vegas and I am alone.
Okay.
Thank
For
you.
work, for work, not
For
pleasure.
work, yeah. I just decided to go out here and gamble a little bit and leave you all to do all the work. No, I'm out here for work. And I am by myself. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dawn, about public comment, did we, maybe I missed it, did we make everybody aware that we're waiving the policy?
I'm going to read a statement that
okay.
talks about everything.
Thank you.
Yep. So, all right, make sure everybody can hear this. Okay, so have it in writing so that I don't miss anything. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Before we start public comment, I want to make sure everyone understands the rules around it. Our meeting is held under RSA 91A, public meetings. In section 18974, it addresses school board public comment period. It says the public comment period shall be for no less than 30 minutes. School boards may request that persons register in advance of the meeting, but may not require pre-registration as a condition of participating in the public comment period. School boards may impose reasonable time limits for each speaker, provided such time limits are equal for all speakers. Nothing in this section shall restrict boards from establishing other reasonable standards for public comment period, provided such standards are imposed equally for all speakers. School boards may reasonably restrict public comments that disclose student personally identifiable information, teacher personally identifiable information, or other confidential or privileged information. This rule does not apply to emergency meetings or non-public sessions for the sole purpose of entering a non-public session, but that's not what we're talking about, but I just wanted to clarify. But right now those are the rules that are in place. But to summarize, because it's a lot of gobbledygook, public comment needs to be kept to generalized statements. No identifying details about students or district employee names can be used. And this is to protect the individuals that are speaking from defamation lawsuits. If any comments made could be considered to defame any of our district employees or mention a minor, I will warn the speaker. If they continue, I will ask them to leave the podium as they are not following the law and are putting themselves at risk. My goal is to run a public comment tonight that allows people to speak, but does not create potential legal troubles for any of us. I have to follow the law. It's what I was sworn in to do. If there are specific detailed concerns that anyone would like to share but can't because it's public comment, please email them to me. My email is ddutton, D-U-T-T-O-N @sau17.net. I'm happy to, I think I've only received one email. So if anyone has anything they would like to email me, please do so. Also, our board policy BEDH states that anyone who would like to speak has to be a Newton, Kingston, or Fremont resident, have a child in our school district, or be a current district employee. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to speak, and I'll have a timer set to ensure that we follow that and allow equity for each person. When the timer goes off, please finish your sentence, but not your statement, and allow the next person their time. 30 minutes has been allotted per our policy, but I'd like to make a motion to the board to request that we allow more than 30 minutes and non-agenda items at this meeting, March 19th, 2025 only. And this motion and vote is not to be precedent setting.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay.
Well, discussion I would have is that I think we need to revise our policy to allow for this more often.
And I think that's a further, yes, that's a further conversation. But for now, I just don't want to, I didn't want to set precedent until the board has a conversation as a whole.
Yep.
I wanted to just to say, I appreciate all of the board working collaboratively to allow this.
Great. And actually, Micah, thank you for reminding me. Actually, we need to do roll call since you are not here. So we will do a roll call vote for this motion. So Micah,
Yes.
Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes, absolutely.
Heather,
Yes.
myself, yes. Ken?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. All right. So before we start, I just want to take one more minute to share something to give perspective. Having to carry the weight of the knowledge as individuals has been beyond overwhelming. We as board members can't even discuss this with each other while the personnel investigation is ongoing. There are very specific laws and policies that dictate the process we must follow. The process is what it is, and I may not like it, but it's my responsibility and duty to follow all laws and policies to ensure a fair process for our personnel and ensure we put things into place so this never, ever happens again. We owe it to every student and family in our community to handle this correctly and not let our emotions get in the way of doing the work we were elected and sworn in to do. Lastly, it is extremely important for everyone to understand that the investigation the district is completing is a personnel investigation, not a criminal investigation. We have no knowledge of any details of the criminal investigation, so any questions about that should be directed to Chief John. So when people come up to the microphone for public comment, we request that you state your name, the town you reside in, or what your association is with the district before you start your comment. And if Phyllis, you have a tricky name, Phyllis may ask you for clarification on spelling.
Come up to the podium.
Jen, you have to go to the podium.
And this is for any of the agenda items and non-agenda items. So comfort dog, anything.
Includes you, Sam.
Good evening to the whole school board. Thank you for being here. You do.
I'm sorry. Could
Hear
you?
me?
Is the mic on?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear your name and where you're from.
I'm sorry, I didn't get to that part yet.
Okay.
I said hi. Thank you to our administration for being here and holding these meetings. I know they're important. My name is Jennifer Ma, and my daughter River Defio goes to school here and does very well. So we know we have some great teachers on board, and I think this is going to be an open-ended question, not really directed to anyone, but I would like to find out if and when there was ever a rule that stated our administration or higher administration have to spend time within our special ed programs, within your regular programs, so they can see what's going on and see if everything is running the way it should have been. So I don't expect an answer to that, but that is a question I think that you all need to discuss with each other while this is happening in order to make sure going forward that we don't that we don't and back up in that spot. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
M-A-H. I live in Danville. My ex lives in Fremont.
She has a student.
Yeah, we have a student here.
Sam, did you want to present about the dog? Or, yes, this is the time.
My name is Elizabeth Walker, and I am a parent of a Memorial student and a Beggy student. I just wanted to comment on the work that the Student Council has been doing. They sent a poster in for everyone to see. They have raised enough money to cover the insurance for Luca for the remainder of the school year and are well on our way to our goal for the beginning of next school year. So we're really proud of their accomplishments and wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
you, can you girls stand up and show the poster to everybody? Show it that you can, yeah, stand right up there.
How you doing? My name is Mike Monero. I live over in Newton, New Hampshire. I would just like some clarification on Mr. Ambrose, the cop-out statement that you were reading earlier. You say that you get to be the superintendent, everything falls on you. You get to delegate it to people, but for some reason you get to sit around and be part of the investigation that could potentially lead to you being a part of this issue. Just a little confused about that.
So we, this is a public comment. We can't answer questions right now. Because I cannot speak on behalf of the entire board. We have to actually, I was reading the policy and we actually have to get together as a board and determine an answer before any one of us can speak.
Well, I hope you brainstorm about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. Sorry, is that better? Okay.
Yeah, the board can ask clarifying questions if we choose to do so. And as you'll see, most of us are taking pretty, dubious notes here. So just want to make sure you understand that.
I didn't get his last name.
Nero, I believe.
You'd have to come up here. Okay.
All right, so my name's Ren DeFilippo. I have kids in all three schools here. This is directed towards you, Ambrose. How can you hire somebody to do an investigation when you may or may not be part of this? I'm looking at you. I'm not looking at Dawn. I'm not looking at anybody else. I'm talking directly to you.
He can't answer that right now.
He doesn't have to answer.
It's fine.
Okay, I know where you stand.
If anyone would like to email me, I'm happy to. Whatever I can answer, I'm happy to answer. Okay?
Sounds like the same bull that he's been spewing
It's
the whole time.
public comment. We cannot discuss personnel. I know. That's fine. Okay, that's fine.
I got a petition to remove you very soon. We'll see. You won't be lasting too much longer in this school system.
Enum Narrow from Newton. I just want to know how we're going to get these answers once you guys brainstorm. Is it shared on the public website? Is it something we have to email you guys about? How do we get to know what the outcome is?
So the outcome, so clarifying question, the outcome on questions that are asked tonight or just in general with what's going on?
Both.
Okay, so if someone has a question tonight, I'm trying to take notes on what they're asking so that if I can respond to them, I will try to, I should be able to have Phyllis get me an email address so I can email them back. And when it comes to the overall arching investigation, the public will be made aware because like he said, the report, the redacted report will be put out, and anything that we can publicly share will be shared. We're not
So
going
is
to
that
hide
only
anything.
shared to district
No.
residents or is that for everyone in town?
That would be, no, anybody in town.
Okay,
It
and
would
then if
be-
you don't have email addresses for the people asking the questions, how do they get those answers?
Then they should, if they do not currently have a student in the district that we should be able to get their email address, then I would recommend they email me directly, again, at d.dutton@sau17.net, and then I can respond to them.
And then what ideally is the turnaround time for that?
Depending on how many emails I get, because this is kind of a, unfortunately, this is a volunteer position, and we also have families and jobs. So I would say if you could give me 48 hours, please, I would appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cara Deem.
I reside in Kingston, New Hampshire, and I have a student at Bakey. And I just wanted to make a comment that in the superintendent report that was read to us this evening, the comment was made that when you visited Bakey, that everything appears to be running smoothly with the transition of a new principal. Not sure how anybody expects us to feel confident in that statement when at a time things were not running smoothly, it appeared to be running smoothly. So I'm not sure how parents are supposed to get comfort in that statement, I guess, is all I would like to say. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Dan LeBlanc. I live in Kingston, and I have students at Sanborn. My question was for Tom. You said you've been at the school, and I was wondering how much time you've spent in the new sunny instep room since the new staff has taken over, and how well that room is running. Have you spent time in there now?
Yeah, I've been over there.
How much time have you spent there?
I just did a walkthrough.
A
but I'm not
walkthrough,
supposed
some
to-
moments, 5-10 minutes, or hours? Have you
I'm not-
sat and actually observed what's going on in the room?
We will, I will get you that information. You have kids in the school, so
I do.
you're, okay,
And
then I will follow up with you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name's Megan. I have 2 children in the district, and I also drive a school bus in the district.
Megan, can I have your last name, please?
Sure, it's Hogg, Hogg. I was just wondering, how do you hire if someone supposedly has a issue that happened before they got to our district and we hire them and we give them the okay to work with our children? As a bus driver, I get intense background checks to work with these children, and I'm just driving them. I'm not with them all day. So what is your criteria of background checks for these people who are with our children almost their entire day?
And Megan, you said you have kids in the system? Okay, I will email you the process in which we use to before hiring someone.
Hi, I'm Cara Dame, Kingston, New Hampshire. Just to kind of follow up on what you just said to, I think it was Megan, and you said you would email her. I think a lot of us are here with a lot of the same questions or similar questions. And you said you would email her, like, how people are hired. How do we all find out the information that everyone's asking?
I believe the hiring process is actually right on the school district's website. But I will verify that it has everything on there. And if it's not thorough, we will. Yes, that is followed.
I just mean about everybody's questions in general. I understand that you can't answer everyone's questions now, but I know people have come up here and have asked questions that I didn't even think of, and I would like to know the answers to those questions. Okay. So how do we find out the answers to everyone's questions is what I'm asking.
I would be more than happy to create a Google document that has the questions that we can answer publicly and then just share that out with people.
Yeah. So
Thank you. I feel like that would be
I
appropriate.
can collect
And-
all the emails, and anybody that emails me questions that isn't here at public comment tonight, we can collect everything. And then anything we can answer publicly, we will put in a Google Doc with answers, and I'll have him send it.
And it's important to note
Phyllis
that,
send it out.
sorry, Don, it's important to note that some things we might not be able to answer yet. But as I said
Understandable.
in my statement, the more will become available once we can. We're in the middle of the process.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is some people are here asking questions that
Great.
you may not have even addressed in your prior statement.
Yep.
And that people may not have thought of until someone else came up to the podium. And I think as a district, we got plenty of emails district-wide. Maybe we could send an email out.
Yeah, we can put a FAQ sheet together with the questions and the answers that we can,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you for the idea. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kara.
John Sylvia, Newton, New Hampshire. At one point, I had 4 children in the Sanborn Regional School District. I no longer have any children in the Sanborn Regional School District, and there's a reason for that. And it actually all stems from the Bakey. There's a lot of people up here asking questions. I'm not here to ask questions. I'm here to tell the board my experience and what my family had to deal with and why I no longer have 4 kids in any of the schools. Okay. We dealt for a year and a half with particular children and incidents ongoing, and we were told it was nothing, it was nothing, it was nothing. We were not given the tools to rectify the situation, and we were swept under the rug. It seems like that same situation was happening in parallel, and that's what this whole investigation is about. Okay. I'm pretty upset about it. I'm still upset about it. My kids were we moved here from another state. Okay. It was a fresh start. They spent a year and a half in a new school, adjusting to it, and had a hell of a time. Okay. Myself and my wife included, went to numerous meetings at the Bakey about these incidents. After about a year, we were finally given some sort of direction of a form to fill out to solve this issue. We filled out this form, and it was, pardon my French, it was BS. Okay. Come to find out, the person leading this whole thing is now involved in another incident. Okay. People clearly aren't doing their jobs. I don't know who it is. I don't really care who it is, but it needs to get sorted out and needs to get sorted out soon. Okay. The fact that my children have now gone through 3 schools in 3 years is just unacceptable. And the fact that I have to come to this meeting and sit here and listen to all these other parents out here that are clearly upset and want answers and want change and just want to send their kids to school to be educated, I don't think it's an unreasonable request. We all pay a ton of money. We have a ridiculous budget for this school compared to metropolitan areas. And the fact that we're sitting here still addressing very basic issues and fundamental issues, that needs to change, and it needs to change now.
Thank you.
Eric Katsikas, Kingston resident. I have 2 kids.
Can you spell your last name? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Katsikas, Katsikas.
Thank you.
I wasn't really intending on speaking. I just wanted to observe. I've long defended Ambrose publicly when he did the Sanborn, the sale of the building, and you got a lot of heat for that. I've always thought, you've done a pretty good job from some of those things, but he really moved me, the last speaker. As an outsider, when we moved to this town, we made a calculated decision when buying the house that we didn't trust Sanborn District with our kids. We made a decision when moving here that it was going to be less expensive than Exeter, where we came from, to go to public school or to private school. And so we kind of budgeted knowing that the school district wasn't going to meet our children's needs. And seeing things like this with the abuse, what really scares me is that there's a lot of people who really don't have a choice. Like I work really hard. We're going to be able to afford to, put our kids somewhere else. We're looking at charter schools. A lot of people can only go to the district that they have, right? So what scares me is that, we'll probably never know the truth of what happened here. And the rumors are that we knew about this abuse too early. And I hope the investigation pans out. I hope it gives us more info, but it also scared me that you said this is not a criminal investigation.
There was a criminal investigation done by the Kingston Police Department. The district's investigation that the superintendent was talking about and referencing is a personnel investigation that is secondary. Criminal investigation is a whole separate thing. So that's why I was trying to clarify, because we don't know any of the criminal pieces. So,
but our performance as a district, I'm always it always seems like we're pretty low, and as taxpayers, it feels like we should be better. And that's my concern is we knew coming into this that we didn't expect much from the school district. I was hoping as we were residents for now about 6 years of Kingston, we were hoping maybe there'd be a point where we felt confident in the school district to send our kids. And I don't think we're there. So.
Thank you. Great. I guess if there's no further public comment, we can move on. Okay, so the board has already agreed. Actually, you know what? Pause that. I'm so sorry. We missed the 6:30 when we were supposed to go into a public hearing on donations. So we're going to do that really, really quick. And then I promise we're going to get to Luca, okay? All right, who has the public hearing donations?
I can help with that.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite Principal Mitchison to share some excellent news with everyone.
Hi, thank you for having me tonight. So I am here for a few different donations tonight. The first I had mentioned I'll do the trustees stuff first. So the Sanborn Seminary trustees, they donate money yearly to different projects and grant opportunities that our staff write. We are so fortunate. And so we typically have one round of grant donations. And this year, the trustees reached out to me in November and wanted to do a second round of grant applications and donations. So I met with them. We revised the application because they wanted to start being a little more inclusive to other types of needs that we might have. So you'll see some different types of things that are in this second round compared to what you may have seen previously. I got a lot of applications, which was wonderful. And just to let everyone know, I have data back from the 2012-2013 school year. And so to date, they have donated almost $300,000 just in that time. And this is something that they've been doing for a number of years. So the cover page has the basic information of the grants that were submitted. All of them were approved by the trustees. So now we're just looking for the board to approve the grants that were written by staff. So you'll see there's one for some really nice athletic signage that we can put on the fences. There's a picture so you can get an idea. And those will include every sport. And then we'll have some indoor ones also for the indoor sports. And then the Sanborn Submariners, once again, we're hoping to have a little bit more support with their trip. They're actually going to the races this year. So they requested some funding from the trustees to help support their travels and their hotel expenses. Then an artist in residence, but this time from an English teacher. So it would be an opportunity to bring in sort of an expert in the field, to bring some English art and history experience from a professional. Ms. Petruzzi put forth a proposal for a bee shed. We have a wonderful beehive, a really cool program here. And we just need a place to keep the stuff. So she put forward a proposal here. Our librarian, Miss Ryan, she put forth a grant proposal to bring an author to come to Sanborn to visit. And with the visit comes some book donations and signing opportunities. So that's very exciting. And one of our social studies teachers is really hoping to have a consistent current event resource. So the New York Times, in partnership with Scholastic Books, which is a really great, they've been around for a number of years, has education resources, and they have a specific subscription that she would be able to have students read grade and age appropriate current events that matter to them. The math department, so they have been really looking at how to give immediate feedback to students on their math and take immediate notes and then be able to send those notes immediately to students. So they have tried some using an iPad and they have a particular program on it that's part of the math program where they can sketch and send it right to a kid. It's really cool. So it's not a software program, it's just on the iPad, but it allows them to send it directly to the students and interact with them kind of in real time so that the kid can have the notes that the teacher just showed them on their iPad, and then they can send it to the whole class. And so they asked if they could all have iPads for that purpose. And then I decided to submit a proposal to bring the staff to Adventure Lore for some PD in August. So I'm hoping to spend a day there. It's really fun. They have a ropes course. They are an adventure-based counseling facility right down the street in Danville. So it's a great opportunity to bring my staff there to learn some team building, but also to have an opportunity to talk through problems with each other and to collaborate. And I think that's a really good opportunity for the beginning of the year. And then finally, slowly over the past few years, I have been replacing our math calculators with the most current up-to-date TI-84 version. And what we were finding is it used to be, students in certain classes may be asked to purchase these calculators. They are very expensive. And I wanted, our math department, we talked a couple years ago, it needed to be something accessible for all students if we want to see them be able to reach their full potential in math. So I've been replacing class sets slowly, one a year for the past 2 years. And this grant here replaces all the rest of them, which is, I think, great.
One thing to note is that the calculators are $5,327. It's a lot. It's wonderful.
Yes. No, to get the rest of them, it's about a $13,500 cost. Yeah. So it's nice that my math department wrote up the grant money for that, and the trustees were happy to help. Does anyone have questions on any of the specific grants?
Sounds really great, Jen.
Yeah, sounds fabulous.
I just want to say thank you to the Sanborn Seminary trustees. They always come through for us, and it means a lot.
Yeah,
it does. And in case for the public, the total amount of proposed grants that the trustees accepted and that I'm asking for approval for acceptance tonight is in the amount of $40,622.94.
Seriously.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the Sanborn Seminary trustee in the amount of $40,622.94. And thank you so much to the seminary trustees.
Second.
All right, if there's any public comment about this, because this is a public hearing. Okay, any board discussion? Other than huge thank yous from everyone?
Thank you.
Okay, all right, then we will do a roll call. Micah, that was a thumbs up. That was a yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
myself, yes, Ken.
Yes.
Okay, unanimous. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Okay. And then I have one additional donation tonight. It's actually two additional, and I had mentioned this a few months back when I came for the first car. In a quick recap, we do a Cars for Grads scholarship here at Sanborn, which is one of my favorite things we do. When we have a car donated, we have a committee of staff who get together and based on a number of factors and nominations, we select students to then give the car to when they graduate. And oftentimes it's a life-changing opportunity for a student who may otherwise not have any means to be able to have transportation of their own. So I already brought a car earlier, and thank you again for accepting that. And I have 2 additional cars tonight. So one was donated by Kevin Holt, who is a paraprofessional here at the middle school, and just such a wonderful asset to our community. And he donated a 2008 Toyota Corolla, has about 147,754 miles on it, but it's in good shape and it still has a pretty good value to it. And then Patricia Bronson sent over a 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan Crew. Yes, a minivan, but you know what? It's going to be someone's forever car, for a long time car, I bet. It has 80,639 miles on it. And so again, both cars just need a little bit of TLC from our automotive classes, which is always another great real world kind of opportunity for them. So I would love if you would accept these additional 2 cars, and we would have 3 to give away this year, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will make a motion to accept both of the cars as stated, and with great gratitude to both Kevin and Patricia for their generosity.
Second.
All right. Any public discussion, input? All right. Any board discussion or input?
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so then we will roll call. Micah,
Yes, and thank you.
Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Heather.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Ken?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous, unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, that is it for me for the donations. Now there's
Okay.
one more. Is that Mr. Doyle?
No.
Okay.
Okay, and then do we need to, then also the grant from the New Hampshire Department of Environment?
Yes, I have that one.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Back in December at our finance facility meeting, we informed the committee that our finance manager, Mr. Doyle, had secured a grant to add PFAS filters to our water filtration system here at Sanborn Regional Middle and High School, which is great because it turned out to be a $35,000 grant. Currently, there's not a PFAS issue with the water here, but you never know with changing regulations or how things move through the earth. So it's great. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. And we need Chair Dutton to accept the grant on behalf of the district.
With board approval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, with board approval, sorry.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept the grant from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services in the amount of $35,500 for the PFAS filtration. Thank you, Mr. Doyle.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Doyle. Do we have a second? Thank you, Micah. All right. Any public conversation or input? Okay. Board, yes, board comment?
Yeah, I would like to personally thank Mr. Dan Doyle for his work, not only on this, but on so many things that he does. He pours himself into this district selflessly and professionally, and we appreciate everything that you do for the children and the families of this district, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
I second it, but you don't have to.
All right. Then we will roll call vote if there's no further comment. Micah,
Yes.
Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Myself, yes, and Ken?
Yes.
Okay, unanimous. Thank you. All right, now Luca.
All right. Boy, I'm happy to be here. So to catch everyone up, in January, we were notified by the Newton Police Department that we would no longer have our wonderful dog at the Memorial School, Luca. And Miss Fahey and I have worked very hard. Miss Fahey's worked way harder than me. I've done a lot of policy work and homework and meetings, but Miss Fahey raised money we're about to talk about with other folks. And I'm so grateful for what everyone did. So I just wanted to start this off by having a conversation about the insurance, because the insurance for the dog became very complex when the dog was no longer owned by the Newton Police Department. And when the dog wasn't owned by the Newton Police Department, they Officer Oljay took ownership of the dog, which made the insurance complicated. So he has secured insurance, and Mr. Malilla has worked with our Primex insurance provider to ensure that we had adequate coverage to allow Luca back in the school. So that was one of the first hurdles that we faced with this process. So the second hurdle was the funding. After some discussion, we learned that we had to figure out how to fund Luca, because it's kind of a special thing for Memorial. It doesn't exist at the other schools. So lots of parents and kids stepped up and raised some money that I would like to invite them up to the podium now to talk about, and ask the board to accept the grant donation to help fund Luca for the rest of this year. Yes.
Hi, everyone. So I and Liz Walker and a few other people and Miss Yu at the memorial and all of the student council have come together. The student council was really, even before I got involved, very wanting of getting Luca back and enthusiastic of how we should do that. They had done penny wars in the past. And wanted to do that. And that was a really quick thing that we could do. So with that, community donations, Osio's night, we have raised well over the amount that we need to get Luca back in. So we'd like to donate the $2,700 that we need to get Luca back in for the rest of this year. We have some future fundraising plans, and we're all well on the way for a fall donation. So we'd like to be able to just keep going and fund her for as long as we have her.
I would look to the board for a motion to accept the $2,700 grant to support Luca for the remainder of the school year.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Can I just say thank you to everybody who did all this research? I know it was a little bit more complicated than met the eye. It wasn't just financial. There were a lot of hoops to go through. So thank you for everyone for all the work that you've done to raise this money, and not just raise the money, but, you know, dot your I's and cross your T's. So thank you for all of you who did that.
Yeah, and I'll make a comment. We've got a couple of young ladies here in the front row that have taken their time out on this Wednesday evening to be here with us and represent a whole lot of work from a whole lot of people. So good on you ladies for showing up and making this happen, because this is how we make things happen, is we get involved, we put our best foot forward, and we work together. So kudos to you, and thank you for all your hard work. Keep it up. Don't stop.
All right, any other comments?
I just want to say thank you. I know my daughter attends Memorial and really enjoys spending time with Luca, so I'm very happy. And thank you, Liz and Sam, for all that you have done to spearhead this. So thank you.
All right, if there are no other comments, we'll take a roll call vote. Micah?
Yes.
Maura?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Jeremiah?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Ken?
Yes.
All right, unanimous.
And
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz and Sam. It has meant the world to the kids, and this has been quite a little journey since January. So thank you for everything you've done. We are ready to go. Are you texting Officer Oljay? Beat me to it. All right, great.
You had to know that was coming. All right. So then we will move back up the list and get back to new business. So we have already done all of 8.1. So we will move on to 8.2, end of year events for the high school. Ms. Mitchinson again.
Hi again. Again, thanks for having me tonight. Tonight, I have our senior class president, Alyssa Rajevich, here with me. And I'm going to let her kind of talk a little bit about what you should have received in your packet, which is just an outline of all the really exciting end of year events we have coming up. I know it's hard to believe, but we're already almost in April. I feel like, even though it's still March, feels like April to me already. And then it's going to be the end of the school year. So I will turn it over to Alyssa and she'll explain what we're looking to hopefully get some approval on tonight. Go ahead.
Hello. So we really want approval for the last day of seniors to be kind of a fun day for the seniors and get our caps and gowns that day. Because last year the caps and gowns were very rushed and they got them like the day before graduation. There was no time to like decorate your caps and have fun with it. So if we get them on the last day of school, we would have almost a whole week to like settle down and like graduate and all that fun stuff. And we already have the caps and gowns, so that's not really an issue right now. And we want to do the yearbook dedication that day too, and have like the whole school come in here and we can all sign yearbooks and get your teachers to sign them. And then at the end of the day, we want to do like a more fun like pep rally at the end of the day, because we've done field day in the past, but we think a pep rally would be a lot easier to plan and a lot more fun. And it would be just not competitive. It'd just be like one last fun day for the seniors. And then graduation day as June 13th. And since there's like no more snow, hopefully, that would be that would be better. Yeah.
I think we're doing okay with regard to snow days. There's a kind of a interesting weather pattern in 2 weeks. So I've been watching the weather. But I remember last year in April, we had a couple of snow days. But even if we do, we wouldn't move this date back. So we got a few days before we'd have to make an adjustment. I think we're okay at this point.
That's about it. Yeah.
Fabulous. I love the idea of having more time for the caps because that was,
yeah.
I think everybody remembers that, especially the girls. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
we
we
didn't do
all
that.
really,
We decorate back
oh,
in the
we all went out. My daughter, like
Oh,
it's really a fun thing. And I think everybody looks forward to it. So making sure you guys have time for that. I think that's important. One day is definitely not enough because I see those designs and they take a lot. So, and it's something that you're going to keep. So it's, you know, something that you will want to have the way you want it to be. That's great. All right.
So do we need a motion?
We need a motion. Do we need to run through the other dates?
Yeah, I believe I need the approval for the graduation date to be confirmed.
Okay.
And then to be okay with the last day for the seniors being that the Friday before. And they do have the trip, which I came here. We did the approval for that. Yeah. So I think those two things per policy.
Okay.
Mine is cut off for some reason. Could you state the date?
June 13th.
June 13th. Yep. So Friday, I'm not going to say it that way. June 13th is the graduation date. And the Friday before that, which is June 6th, would be the last day, official day of school for our seniors, the graduating class.
All up the stairs.
I make a motion to accept that June 6th is the last day of school for seniors and graduation day confirmed June 13th.
I also love
Second.
Fabulous. All right. Any discussion? Maya's like fully supporting this down there.
Yes and no. Am I planning another pep rally?
You might be.
Surprise.
Do you
No.
want?
No.
Oh, okay.
So somebody else can do that. All right, you guys figure that out later. All right. If there is no further discussion other than the surprise on Maya's face here, we will go into taking a vote. Micah,
Yes.
Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
myself, yes, and Ken.
Yes.
Great. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's me again.
All right. Yeah.
I think one more time.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm also looking for approval tonight. I have another overnight field trip. And so this one is for the New Hampshire Music Educators Association All-State Festival. And it's a series of concerts and performances by student musicians from across the state. The festival includes classical, jazz, and band and orchestra performances. So performances by, again, classical musicians, jazz musicians. It's a weekend event, and it ends with the performances that parents, families, friends, anyone can go see. It's kind of like the all-star of musicians around the state. It's a great networking opportunity. And this year we have a student, River DPO, who is going to attend. So just looking for the approval. There is a small fee that we cover through our co-curricular money that I budget for. So we would love for River to have the opportunity. And this year it is at the Capitol Center for the Arts in Concord, which is where the festival part will be. And the other one that was earlier this year was over at Pinkerton. So that location changes. So it takes place different places across the state. The dates for this one are April 3rd through the 5th.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented and say congratulations to River.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All right. Oh, it's board discussion.
Oh, is it?
Board discussion, sorry. We can't do public. Hold on 1 second. We can't do public. comment during.
This is.
Yes, I
You
know.
want
it's-
to tell me something to
Perfect.
share?
I just wanted to tell them that.
No, we can't do that.
Okay, so we'll continue on. Okay, so we'll do roll call vote. Micah,
Yes.
Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
myself, yes, Ken.
Yes.
All right, unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I saw Dr. Dawson moving his way down. All right, if you would like to come on down to the microphone, Sanborn Ice Hockey Cooperative Agreement. It's going to just be one agreement.
Thank you, everybody. First, wanted to thank everyone in the community who showed up for our basketball team on Sunday. It meant a lot to the kids. Didn't end the way we wanted, but I think it helped set a standard for the future that we can get there. There's a belief now that we can get to that level. Also need to shout out the cheer girls because they do compete at New England's for the first time in 10 years. I know you said that, Maya, but it is the first time in 10 years, so I don't get emails from the community that they are making it to that level. Today, I'm asking your approval for Sanborn Regional to enter into a three-way cooperative ice hockey program with the schools of Portsmouth and Newmarket, with Portsmouth as the lead school. This past year, we had 8 hockey players participate in our program in a 3-school program. 6 of them were Sanborn students and 1 each from the other 2 schools that were involved. We have informed the other schools and the NHIAA that we are going to dissolve that co-op. Because it wasn't working for our kids. We were not able to field a varsity team. We chose to play JV games with as few as 7 players at one point. About halfway through a schedule we had thrown together at the last minute, I received a bunch of comments privately from parents expressing their significant concerns about the safety of the kids. And so we chose at that point to terminate the season, which was the unfortunate reality of when you only have 8 kids on a team, and we were down to 7 at that point because we had 1 player break his foot in a game that we won. So that was the good news and the bad news at the same time. The Portsmouth Newmarket Sanborn program should have a viable number of players over the next couple of years. We have of our 6 players, 5 of them will return, and we believe that we have a couple coming up as 9th graders, and that will help develop that program so they'll have the right number of players to participate at the varsity level, which is something we weren't able to do this year. And we won't be scrambling around for players every year moving forward. The team practices late in the evening, 9 o'clock or so at night, which is not great, but it's at Phillips Exeter, which is great because it's right down the road. Their games, very much like we do now, are up in Dover. Although you might think it's better to move closer to home. As ice hockey arenas continue to get sold, the more we hold on to Dover with our claws, and Portsmouth really will be doing the holding at this point with their, I guess it'd be ropes off a clipper ship. They would hold on to that, but that's a public arena, so it's never going to get sold. So this is a really stable situation, I believe, for our kids moving forward. We will pick up a proportionate level of the support for the team. It's estimated by the Portsmouth Athletic Director that will be roughly $1,200 per player to support the program. And doing all the math, and I believe you have a note that I wrote about that, a memo. That's roughly what we're paying right now for the overall cost of the program. So it will not cost the district any additional money to support these kids moving forward with the ice hockey program. Portsmouth, Newmarket, and Sanborn cooperative team. So I ask your permission, or really we need the board to approve, and then the chair signs the paperwork. We send it off to the NHIA. They will make the final determination either later this spring in a week or so, when the ice hockey committee will probably meet after their season is over. Committees tend to meet, or they may put that off into the fall, which they have done before, and then it goes before classification. But I have received nothing but positive comments from the NHIA leadership about this move for us and for our student athletes.
Great.
Fabulous.
I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Thank you, Dr. Dawson, for doing this and
Yeah,
supporting
no
this.
problem.
Thank you.
No, it's great. They're
Yeah.
actually Portsmouth came to us, so I don't want to take all the credit.
Fabulous.
If you look very carefully at the agenda, it does say cooperative programs, plural. I just wanted to give you some information. We're still looking for some specific numbers. We have several girls who play ice hockey. We've been approached by Salem, who is trying to put together a cooperative program with Londonderry and Sanborn. We know for sure this will affect one student athlete in our school currently who would like to continue to play hockey as a girl. We may have some others in the pipeline. We believe there's a couple more currently in 7th grade. The student athlete I'm talking about is currently in 8th grade. So I may be coming back to you and asking, unless you would like to give preliminary approval to me signing off on that deal, assuming it's not more funding per player, which I think with Salem and Londonderry, it may be more expensive. And at that point, I would come back and ask you specifically to do that. So I'll leave that up to you guys, but I just wanted to give you the information that is definitely something that we are in some significant conversations with Salem High School about right now, to give that one athlete and potentially a couple more down the road the opportunity to play girls ice hockey.
All right, thank you.
Just need to vote.
Yep. So I think at this point, so the motion is for the boys ice hockey co-op, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So we just did board comment. All right. So then we will roll call vote. Micah,
Yes.
Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
myself, yes. Ken.
Yes.
Okay. Fabulous. Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Did anybody want to, I know Dawson mentioned the girls' ice hockey. We want to hold off until he has more information.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. So regular student transportation RFP. Oh, we're going to table that. Correct?
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
that got
we did-
tabled.
Yep. I just got to get you a bit more information for April 2nd.
Okay. Academic calendar 2025 to 2026.
Hey, Dawn, before we get to that,
Yeah.
for the people that are leaving, and I know there's some other people that left prior to this, thanks for coming out.
Yes, thank you.
I think as I'll speak myself, we're going to look to try to open this up more so the people that actually pay for the school can come and make comments as they want to. So I can hear you. Yeah, I think I want to make sure that you understand that the goal, at least my goal, is to make sure that the people that actually fund this school can come and make comments and address the board as they see fit. But thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Christine.
Hello. Thank you, everyone. Tonight, I'm here to propose the 2025-2026 academic school calendar. We're actually going to start with version 2, which is found in your packet. Thank you so much, Phyllis. Much appreciated. So in looking at the calendar, there are 2 versions for one reason, and that's if Kingston decides, or if you decide to allow Kingston to use the high school gym for their voting in March. So the second version is the version without that, and you can see March 10th would actually be a parent-teacher conference day. The first version has it as a day off for students and for staff. So therefore, in June, staff would then get out the 16th to coincide with their collective bargaining agreement, which is the workday of 186 days. Last day for students would be the 12th. Last day for seniors would be June 5th on this calendar. So the only big change between version 1 and version 2 is that March 10th time.
I'll take it from there. I think there was a lot of conversation about the voting at the high school gym, and we decided to bring it to the board. Chair Dutton has some information that she would probably like to share about the impact on the school and the school programming, specifically athletics and some academics, noting that we have to kind of close up the gym the day before and that end of the building, and then they'd have the day of voting, and then the next day it would impact some for the first half of the day as well. And Dawn, did you want to
Yeah.
talk about that?
So I'm trying to pull up the letter. I had it up and now. So Ms. Mitchinson actually wrote a letter where, here it is. Impact letter. Ms. Mitchinson wrote us a letter about the impact of hosting voting here at the high school. It's for the 25-26 school year. There's only one voting day that would impact our students, but moving forward, it will be, so in 26-27, there would actually be 3 voting days that will impact school days, which also, again, as superintendent said, because we're going to have outside people that are not background checked and don't have like the clearance in that end of the building, setting up the day before and breaking down the day after, they're probably going to put the gate across, the divider across, which then impacts that entire wing of classrooms. That means that those classrooms wouldn't be able to be utilized the day before, and also for part to potentially the entire day, the day after, depending on how long it takes them to break down. So it impacts their ability to hold the gym classes and all of the classes that are down that hallway, which run from consumer sciences, the cooking classes, the health classes. Maya, you can help me out here with what else is down that hallway. But there are quite a number of classes.
Life skills.
Life skills is down there as well, and that's a big deal. So the question to the board is, do we want to allow voting at the high school with the impact it will have to all of those classes down at that end of the building?
Could I mention one thing?
Yes, please.
And I'm not advocating one way or the other. This is truly a board decision, but I want to know facts.
Yes.
So in the 25-26 school year, there's only the March town school vote.
Yes.
In the 26-27 school year, this will impact 3 different days in the year.
September,
So it'll be-
November, and March.
Right. It'll be 3 votes, which is basically roughly 9 days for that wing of the building.
Yes. The other thing is there is discussion, and it has not been settled yet, but currently the federal and state primary is in September. They are talking about moving it to potentially June, which could impact the end of school year activities for our students. Because if that would fall right in line with when we're looking at trying to have our seniors' last day of classes. So it could be a potential issue there for our students. So
I think the request from the town of Kingston was to permanently move all voting to the high school. And so some years it's 1 day, some years it's 2, and another year it's 3 every 3 years. So I just want to make sure that people understand that we're not just voting on next March. We're actually having a conversation about allowing the town of Kingston to use the high school for voting year round instead of the Swayze gym. And that really is up to all of you.
Do we have a copy of the request from the town of Kingston? I didn't see
So
that.
you know what? I think that was, I think it's in our drive. Was it from the last meeting? Did we have to move it?
Yeah, because I'm not even really sure where this stems from, other than a request.
Their request, yeah.
Right. But why? Right.
Well, I'm speaking with some of the members of the select board of Kingston. There's going to be continued construction over at the Swayze gym for an unknown period of time. We already have record low voter turnout, and that certainly isn't going to help. I didn't see anything that said this was permanent. I thought we were voting on this 25-26 year, which everything else that was just discussed is pretty irrelevant. If it's only 1 day and we can help accommodate the voters of Kingston, I'm all for that. I didn't see a multiple year proposal in it. Maybe I missed it.
No.
Yeah, Tom, I don't see.
While we think about that or look for that, I would just go on record saying I agree with Rick there that if it's a one-time thing and we know the scope of the impact on the high school, I'd be more than happy to vote in favor of accommodating the move. But if it is for the future and it's open-ended, I would be less comfortable with that. I'd much rather it be on a
Year by year.
on an as needed year by year basis, because
we're
I don't want to anticipate the impact to the kids without knowing what that could be. So
we're going to have to figure it out. Swayze's not going to be there forever, right? So I think we have to collaborate a little bit more, and and maybe we give them 1 out of 3 days in 26, 27, right? I think there's a lot of options we can talk.
Yeah.
I understood it as we're approving 25-26 calendar today.
just I would love for it to be. I just want to mention one thing. I like forethought and having a more permanent solution, but I mean, Swayze could be there forever. So, I don't think that's not in the cards. I don't want to assume that Swayze's not going to be there for the future of the district, for the multiple needs the town and the school may have for it. But I do agree with figuring out a permanent, more stable solution.
I agree with Rick about a compromise. I mean, I definitely only thought we were voting on 1 year, but the March town school, I would be open to a compromise of that being the voting place, on a consistent basis. But I think for the other types of voting days and the impact it may have on the student and the school, have to have further conversations.
Okay, so since we are talking about the calendar for the 25-26 school year, I guess somebody just needs to make a motion on how they would like to go.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
I think what I hadn't thought about before, or maybe more clarification on, it's really kind of potentially losing 3 school days for these rooms if we're losing the day before and the day after.
Yes.
That is a little concerning to me because I do know there's often disruptions. I know my daughter today couldn't have gym class in the gym because I'm not sure what was
The
going on.
ASVAB testing.
Okay, because of the testing. So today my daughter sat in a room playing games and not doing gym. So I guess that's something I hadn't really thought about. We're not really affecting 1 day, it's affecting 3 days.
Is Dan Doyle still here by any chance?
Oh.
Yeah, Dan, so can you talk about the time that it takes for setup, and can that time start at the end of the school day? I mean, have we thought about that?
We're talking about
Dan, you're
voting.
supposed to know everything we're talking about.
We're talking about voting and the impact it has on the day before, day of, and the day after.
And Dan, if I can just preempt this. So it's been 3 days. So if we accommodate, can they adjust a little bit for our accommodation by setting up a little bit later and breaking down in the evening time / the next morning prior to, like, what can they accommodate as we try to accommodate?
So in my personal opinion, when they set up the day before, since we provide a lot of the material for them, tables, chairs and stuff, they didn't have to bring that and unload their truck. So it was a very quick setup for them. So I think if we were to accommodate in the future, we could probably ask for a later day setup, possibly after school, if they're willing to work, into the early evening to get set up. I don't think that's unreasonable to ask, quite honestly. As far as takedown, it's a little more difficult because sometimes they're counting ballots till 1, 2 in the morning, and they really can't break down until that's done. But breakdown, typically, if they bring enough crew and our guys help, we could probably knock it out in 3 to 4 hours. So if we can get an early start on it the next day, 6 a.m. when my guys start, I really feel confident we could have it all cleared up by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. But it will take some doing, but I think it can be done, yes, where it doesn't impact the school as much as it did the first time we had the voting here.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay.
Dr. Dawson, I see you standing up back there. I know you also had, I don't see it in this drive, but I think last meeting's drive, I think you had also sent a letter of impact. So I don't know if you want to put your comments forward too. So we make sure we get everybody.
Sure. It's in Jen's.
Oh, that's
Put
right.
my athletic director hat on.
It was combined.
Yeah.
That's right. Right.
The concern is I have seen a scenario where there was a game played in a previous school district that needed to be played the night before the election that was being held in the school gym. And they used every town person they could find. The Boy Scouts came in and volunteered to set the whole thing up. And they did set it up after a basketball game starting at 8 o'clock at night. The election lasted the next day. Take this year as an example. If we lose the high school gym for 3 days, it would have been lost right in the week before the basketball. So those kind of scenarios from the school district's perspective, from a PR perspective, are absolute, in my opinion, disasters. If that were to happen down the road, where you're saying, okay, great, you guys are in the finals, but you can't practice in your own gym. You got to go borrow Timberlanes or Wyndham's or somebody's like that. So that's not ideal. If we look at September as a primary date, that's smack in the middle of the fall season, and occasionally it rains. So if you get rain on those 2 days, the setup day and the day of the election, you can't practice and things like that. And as we're, building a program with a volleyball team, come back to that later. We could run into situations where we're running into more and more conflicts in the gym. So I just want to make people aware of that. The November election tends to be at the tail end of football season. Most of our other sports are done, but there are years where soccer finals aren't quite done. You could have a rainy thing, blah, blah. But that's a little more obtuse of a concern from our perspective. So losing the gym for a couple of days can run into some real athletic conflicts, and it definitely impacts your PE program if you don't have the gym for a day and a half or 2 days, or if the town has their way, they would prefer to have a 3-day breakdown of our gym, and that's not great. So just my thoughts on that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Bob.
So I guess my question is, do we have to approve this tonight, or
Can we put it off to the April 2nd meeting and have more
maybe
time to think about it?
and have some conversations with the select board of Kingston?
Yeah, see what we can work out.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
So
Could we do that,
fabulous.
Christine? Wait till April 2nd? It's a couple weeks.
Absolutely. This was just really for the 25-26 school year.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think this is a much bigger conversation.
Yep.
Because once you give permission, you absolutely want to know what consequences, good or bad, would happen.
And,
So,
and
yes.
I would just like to mention that I did look up the forms that I received. I can't see anyone. So I looked up the forms that I received, and the form was just for this year. So the request to use the gym permanently for the rest of the year was verbal.
Okay.
And so I apologize for that. I realized that I had a conversation with one of the folks, and I'd like to get some more information. And I'd also like them to send us a formal request for permanently so that the board can review that request.
Okay.
Yep. I thought the paperwork had been filled out for permanently, but it had only been requested for next year.
Okay. All right, so we will table that. Thank
Great,
you.
Thank you.
Okay. So school board calendar,
And that's tabled.
the school board.
That was for the Fremont meeting that we resolved this week, Dawn.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's all set. Thank you.
That's right. Oh, it does say table.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
I thought I saw the T and I thought it was Tom. Um, all right, Mr. Malilla, MS 22 approval and signature.
Yep. So now that the town vote is complete, I need the school board to sign the MS 22, which is a form that I'm required to submit to the Department of Revenue. And it certifies that the appropriations approved by the voters are correct. The appropriations included on the MS 22 include the proposed operating budget, which passed Article 3, along with Articles 4, 6, and 8. I believe you have the form in your packet, but they just need to get passed around and signed, and also signed by Superintendent Ambrose.
So you don't need a motion?
No motion.
Signatures. Okay.
Yep.
Fine. Perfect. Okay, so we will start sending that around for signatures. Okay, so if I'm not missing anything, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. We are now at second public comment.
Can we revisit a former thing on the agenda?
Did I miss something?
No, I'm just asking if we can revisit something.
Which one?
4.3 resignations. We
Um,
we typically vote on that and we didn't.
No, so we received, we checked on that. And the last meeting, we did not vote on it because we are not required to vote on resignations. Resignations are just a notification to us. It's not required to. We don't have to make a motion or second or vote.
Okay, thanks. So to revisit it though, I believe, and I know for a fact that as a board, we requested exit interview information, and we consistently haven't gotten that. And I want to make sure that on a monthly basis moving forward, we receive that from the administration. The last update we got was from Diana Maroney, and she left the district in 23-24.
Okay, I have, no, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, second public comment. All right, then. Oh, I'm going to send these around in a second, sorry. The next Sanborn Regional School Board meeting will be held on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the library at the Sanborn Regional High School. And then someone wants to move us into non-public. And we'll start signing these.
I make a motion to move us into non-public RSA 91-A semicolon 3, roll 2, BCK.
Second.
Right. So roll call in, Micah,
Yes.
Maura,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
myself, yes, Ken.
Yes.
All right, and we are going to